But yeah, this book, this chapter is really where it gets really technical, where we kind of learn the real, a lot of the part of the chapter is kind of like mindset, but this is really strategy here. So I think there's a lot of good tips in this chapter. Would you guys agree?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, who wants to go and share their favorite part of the chapter?
I could go.
Okay, Blanca.
I like page 186 and 187 where he starts giving like the examples of the use of the water. Because on both those two pages it explains that. So I like when determining wants and needs, you're not selling, you're asking and listening, because this is done in the early stages of the sales process. Understand that you will be using this information to make sense of and close on your proposal. So it just goes back to page 186, how it tells you like, it's one of the steps, but it's something that you need to pretty much close them. You need to ask the certain questions to know how to approach them. Because I mean, you could ask certain questions, but you don't know, like you need to ask a certain question to know where to start.
What kind of questions are good for that?
Like how they were treating them before with their other agent, why are they shopping around, stuff like that.
What their current situation is, what they're looking for. I think this is, do you guys all do this every single time?
Yeah.
Every single time? Yeah, okay. It's really important because I've been doing a lot of insurance sales for a long time, and then I've seen other people try to do insurance sales too. But a lot of people that don't do well, it's like, okay, you want to quote? Okay, what's your name? What's your date of birth? What's your address? What's your car? Here's the price. And that's it. It's like there's no like probing, there's no like finding out what their situation is, what they want, what's important to them, like what's their, like Blanca said, what their situation is. If there's none of that, it's just like you're just hoping we're cheap, or maybe that's not even what they're looking for anyways. So really understanding what they want is really the necessity. It's probably the most important part of this chapter is really understanding what they want so you can use that to try to close them. Okay. What's the best question that you like, Laura?
Like I don't say like want, I say like need. Like what coverage do you need? Instead of like what coverage you want. And it's like a want. People don't want insurance. So I think that, and then they've been saying like, like I do mention like that we do work with another rating system, so I'm always like, let me see what options are better for us. Like I include myself in like their situation.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
What options are good for us?
Yeah.
Then for you, right?
Yeah.
So it's like kind of like we're gonna do this together type attitude. Yeah, that's good. That's a good one. I like that. You guys get that? Yeah. What can we do to make this better for us? Or like, let's see which rating system is better for us. What about probing questions in the beginning of the quote? What kind of questions do you guys ask to try to figure out if they have insurance or not? Because that's what you want to find out too, right?
I always ask them, do you have insurance right now?
Why not, right? Some people don't even ask that. They don't know when the renewal, if they have insurance, when the renewal date is, or if they have like an agent or not right now, or if they have like just like a direct company, or if they have like a Spanish speaking agent, or just not knowing what their situation is. It's really just like mind blowing. How could you try to close somebody if you just don't know what their situation is? So hey, what's your insurance situation right now? It's kind of a more open ended one, because would you change the way you sell it if they had insurance or not?
You kind of know what like your focal point would be at that moment. Like they don't have insurance.
Yeah. So you're gonna, yeah, right? It's totally different. I think I don't want to say pressure, but you're just gonna be more aggressive if they don't have insurance. So just finding out what their situation is just critical to being able to get the sale or not. Okay. All right. So yeah, Kalia, what do you have for us?
Okay. Mine's on page 182, the second paragraph.
Okay.
So it's the first thing I would look at in any sales process is how to shorten and simplify it. Just because of the amount of sensitivity buyers demonstrate to time. So I like that sentence. Well, every situation is different, it's just not every client wants, just the price and, get on with the quote. You
Mm-hmm.
just have to really look into like if, they want you to take your time on it. By the time
Mm-hmm.
you ask them the questions and they're being very detailed on what they want, then that's when you're like, okay, they want to take their time. But you could hear in their
Good.
voice when they want to,
Right.
like, I just want to be quick.
Right.
Just to get it over. Yeah.
That's a good point, Kalia. So when you're asking those probing questions, right before you just get right into the quote, when you ask those questions, you could kind of get a sense right there, right? Well, this person's kind of in a rush, or this person really wants to talk.
Yeah.
But in general, what does this chapter think is better?
Less time.
Mm-hmm. Easier for them, the better.
Yeah.
That's what they're thinking. What are some ways you guys do to make the quote faster?
Like I always say, like I obviously like sometimes the information comes up
Mhm.
already,
Mm-hmm.
and I just say, oh, let me run your history just to see if something comes up, but it's already there. So
Yeah.
while I'm searching, I'm already filling in all the stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But you don't know which cards to add,
No,
or.
they tell me.
Oh, okay,
This
okay.
is this card. And I'm like, okay, let me see if the VIN numbers come up.
Mm-hmm.
And if I already know that they're there, then I'll just use that time to fill in. That way, there's no like silence
Right.
within, and while I'm filling in the information, I'll ask like, oh, kind of,
Mhm.
what coverage, are you looking to get
Mhm.
on this car, or
Mm-hmm.
are you financing the vehicle, and like stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. I think I'll tell you guys that if you're really fast on the computer, that also helps too. Because when you're doing farmers and then maybe Bristol West and you're like okay, and then you're just like struggling along and there's like awkward silence, they're gonna be like, this person knows this person knows what she's doing. Or at least when you're doing it, if you're taking some time, being able to multitask and have a conversation while you do it too. But either way, if you're just struggling and just having a long time getting the quote ready, they're gonna lose confidence in you. And one of the things you want is just them to have confidence in you, right? Other things you could do later is sometimes with Bristol West, it asks for like the phone number and the email address. Do you guys ask for that?
Yeah, the phone number.
You fill it out right away?
I just say like, what's your phone number, just in case we get disconnected.
Oh, do you? Okay. But you see the caller ID right there anyways,
Yeah,
right?
but I take note of both.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes they give you a different number.
What about the email address? No, right? I skip the phone number and the email. I just go straight to the address because I could just fill that out later. Like if they say like, oh, I want to think about it or I want to buy it, either way, it's like, okay, what's your phone number? What's your email address?
Because I did that once, and the lady was like, no.
What?
Like, she's like, okay, let me think about it. I'm like, okay. It's like, if you want, I was like, I can go ahead and email you the quote just so you can look at it. She's like, no. Like, she
Okay.
don't want to give me her, so I think like it's easier for the phone number to be asked at the beginning of the conversation instead of the end of the conversation, because they've already known what you're going
But
to
you already
offer.
have the phone number, no?
No, but I'm saying
sometimes
like,
it's different.
like sometimes it's different.
Oh, is it different? Okay.
Yeah, so I always just ask like,
Okay.
what's their number? And then if it's the same, then I just, but.
But there are some, I think in the quote process, there's going to be some situations where if you guys think about it, there's some questions that you don't really have to ask. Like there's some critical ones and some ones that are, you always want to do the quote process, you're always thinking like, oh, how can I do this faster? Right? Like I don't ask for the odometer reading on the farmers. Okay. After you get the commitment, you can ask that. You want to fill it out right. Okay. But you don't want to like doing the quote process, you're just slowing things down. Sometimes when you do a Bristol West quote or when you do a farmer's quote, you don't even necessarily have to have the VIN number. Oh, what kind of car do you drive? Well, 2009 Honda Accord. We'll just put it in there. Because when you say, oh, what's your VIN number? They're like, oh, I don't have it. You're like, oh, can you go get it? It's kind of like a momentum killer right there too, Because afterwards you could get it and it's like, hey, I want to confirm this price. What's your VIN number? You could always do that later too. So you just kind of want to build momentum and give them what they want as fast as possible. I think that is the direction the world's going. Why is that?
Want everything fast.
Yeah. Why is that? You guys think?
Just to speed time, I guess. I don't know. You don't want to be
Save
stuck
time
in a
and
certain
very valuable.
situation for so long.
Yeah, everyone's busy. And then everyone's kind of like used to having everything in fast. Right? Before Google, I think everybody was like way slower. Like everybody was more patient. But now it's like everyone's kind of been spoiled with getting information so fast. So they expect things to be fast. And that's why when we don't pick up calls, it's like really bad. Or when emails aren't getting returned, that's not good too. So yeah, it's all about speed. All right, Jess. Good. I like that one, Calio.
Mine's on page 191.
Okay.
I like the second little paragraph where it says becoming a pro at closing the transaction is critical, not just because that it's not just what it takes to get the job done, but also because it will create a confidence in your abilities to handle objections, stalls, and problems, which will increase your confidence to do more selling. And then it says salespeople who can close will start to avoid all the vital necessities of selling, such as prospecting, following up, even having a positive attitude. Basically, why sell if you can close?
What was the tough one?
I like that little paragraph because it's so true. You know, the more you sell, the more confidence you get, and you get better, and you do good sometimes too. You know.
Right.
And it's true the other part that when you don't sell, you know, you can be negative and you can not follow up or so I just like that little paragraph because it's very true.
It is true, huh?
Especially with sales, you know.
Yeah, if you can't sell, then why do all the other stuff? So it's kind of it's a tough reality of it, but what do you think has helped you? Because, I think this book kind of talks about being a pro and being an amateur. What are some things that helped you become a pro, you think?
I think just practice.
Practice.
Talking to people, getting rejected, closing. I mean, it just makes you better. Eventually, prospecting and actually following up makes you good. At the beginning, it's almost everybody struggles, but at the end, it pays up.
It does.
You get better and better and better.
Yeah, maybe it's because I went to Angels game over the weekend, but I feel like sales is really similar to like a hitter at a baseball game. Because you're not going to hit a home run every time. You do 10 quotes, you might sell 3. But then if you hit 3, you're a superstar. Right? But if you hit 2, you're not good. So that's the little difference there. But if you can't hit, then why even practice? Okay, so all the practicing, all the stretching the players do, and all the the rest they're getting and all that stuff, that's all practice. So when you get an opportunity to get a sell, so yeah, you have to have a positive attitude. You got to be able to handle rejection. But I think you said the most important thing is that you just have to practice. Okay, great. All right, Laura. So what part of the chapter did you like?
It's on page 189.
Okay.
That's the middle paragraph. Where it says, what are those few things that will make sense of all other things? What is a senior or dominant buying motive, and how your buyer will justify and validate this product as the right thing to purchase? The demonstration of your product is where you build value, create urgency, and increase the desire for your buyer to give you money for the product you are offering.
Okay, what is this whole step about?
Just like not take acknowledgement that your product is valuable. And that a lot has to do with the way that you present it to your client. Like make them know that it's important, like kind of put like a sense of urgency.
Okay.
To it.
So this step is about select product and present the value.
Yeah.
So for what we do, how do we do that?
Like
You think?
just present like our name, like our company.
That's the important part.
Because a lot of people, they'll compare us to like not A-rated companies.
Yeah, I think sometimes it's important to just remind them, like, hey, and they kind of know, but they kind of forget, and they're like, they just like start thinking just about the price, monthly payment. But you kind of have to remind them, hey, this is Farmers, so we're not going to be the cheapest, you know. What about select the product?
I feel like lately I've been starting with like higher coverage.
Oh yeah.
Like instead of doing 15, 30, 10, I'll do 25, 50, 25, and offer that. And most of the time, they're like, "Oh, what's the coverage again?" And then I tell them, "Okay," because other companies are offering the lower one, and it doesn't make a big difference.
It doesn't. But that's because you kind of ask the questions to kind of know what they may like.
Yeah.
Because some people just don't care about that.
Yeah.
And why give them high coverage because they don't care, right?
But
So-
when you try to lower, they're like, no, gracias.
Yeah.
That's sweet.
Yeah, so it just
Right.
depends, like, it just depends on the
Uh-huh.
customer. But sometimes, like, if you see that they have nicer cars, like, you're
Mhm.
not gonna offer the most limited coverage.
Right. So this is where knowing your client really comes into play. So if you know your client, and then if you know if they're homeowner or renters and stuff like that, okay, let me present to you, here's a quote here with, this is the price, with this coverage, including renter's insurance. You didn't even ask him if it's okay to quote your renter's insurance because this person will see value in it and they'll save money on it. So this is what I'm going to present to you.
And if it's about price, I feel like when you start with the higher amount, you tell them, oh, well, I can give you this for lower, then they're like, okay.
Mhm.
Whereas if you start low, you can't lower it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And sometimes if you say, oh, we could take it off, they're like, no, let me keep that. That's important.
Yeah.
So when you say, hey, I'm going to start taking things off, they're like, oh, shoot. If you give them the consequences, they're like, oh, no, let me have that. That is important. And it also makes you think like, you're actually taking care of them. And those are really where the bigger sales are going to come. People who actually have stuff to lose. The people who are just strictly just want the cheapest thing, I mean, we'll sell those, but we're not going to really make much money off that. Those type of clients, anyways. Okay, so you really have to be able to offer and present to them value and sell them the product that they'll see value in. Okay, great. All right, Kathy, what do you have for us?
Mine's on page 188.
Okay.
It's the second paragraph, the beginning. I really like that sentence. It says, you should present your product based on what your client told you was important. There is no reason to show the quality of the crystal or quality of the water to a choking man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like it. Basically just says it all. Like,
Mhm.
there's no reason to go and talk about something when they're actually looking for something else, like when it's right in front of you.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I really like that sentence.
Any experience of like when you bought something, anyone has a story or anything about what you're looking for was different from what the salesman was trying to sell you?
Yeah, when I bought my car,
Uh-huh.
I strictly went in there. I want a Honda Accord. I wanted sport.
Mhm.
And I was very specific about the color too, but they didn't have it. But since they didn't have it, they were trying to show me a Civic.
Okay.
And I was like, I don't want a Civic. I want
Right.
an Accord.
Right.
And I took my Accord, but I was like, I don't want the Civic.
Uh-huh.
Like, that's not what I want.
Right. And once you're in that mode, it's like, it's actually, they're not doing a good job, right? When they're saying, hey, let's try to convince you to
They're
a
trying
Civic.
to downgrade me.
Right. So that's not a smart move for all salespeople. You don't really want to fight with them. You want to always agree with them.
I think that happened to me too.
Yeah.
I went in for a car,
Mm-hmm.
and then they were like, oh, like while they were doing the quote, they were like, do you go to college? And I'm like, yeah. They was like, oh, a Kia would be good for you. And then he just like changed the page and he started showing me all the Kias, and they were like, you'll find easy parking, it's cheap for like college students, and I'm like that's nothing what I want. But he right away just like,
Yeah.
I guess wanted a chance.
Yeah.
Like if maybe he had luck like that all the time, but I'm like, what are you doing?
Oh, yeah. Well, it's a funny story. I actually reminded myself. I might have told you guys the story, but I went to Ferragamo once at South Coast Plaza. There's like $600 dress shoes, right? And I went there because it's the weekend.
Oh, the sneakers?
Yeah,
That he told us that
yeah.
he right away he saw what you were wearing, and
Yeah.
he's like, oh, these just came out, but you wanted actual like dress shoes. And
Yeah.
Wait, I know the story. Hold on.
Oh, yeah. So I just needed brown dress shoes. But it was a weekend, so I went into South Coast Plaza with like, sneakers and like with a hat on, because it's the weekend. So I went in there and the salesperson was like, oh man, you're going to love these shoes. You're going to love these shoes. And it was like these like Italian like sneakers, but they're like kind of like had like platforms. it's just like these high-end sneakers, right?
Yeah.
But it's like that's not like what I want. But how about this one? He was like looking at all the casual shoes. If he would have just asked me like, hey, what are you looking for today? I would have said, hey, I'm looking for brown dress shoes. But he was just so annoying because he was like pushing me like these like really ugly platform sneakers. For sneakers, I'm only gonna buy Nikes or Jordans, So it's like you can't like you can't force somebody to like, and then you got to find out what the person wants. So his assumption really cost me. I literally just stepped out and went to Nordstrom and bought the same shoes there, because it's just like I just didn't want to. It was just such.
It was annoying already.
It was annoying, and it was just like such low level of sales. It was like you don't want to pressure something into what this line Kathy just said. You want to pressure somebody into what they don't want. You want to find out what they want and deliver that. All right, thanks, Kathy. All right, Ale, what part of the chapter did you like?
I liked page 187, the
Okay.
very last little paragraph. It says, remember all purchases or investments are trying to solve a problem of some sort, all of them. You don't buy a drill because you want a drill, you buy a drill because you want a hole. I like that one because, customers call us because they have a problem. Their price went up, they're not treating them right, or they don't have insurance. So, we have to solve their problem.
Yeah, what was that one quote I said? Do you guys remember?
The one this morning?
No.
Oh.
Very similar to this.
I don't know.
What are you trying to sell?
Fear.
Huh?
Fear?
Fear? Oh, no.
I
no.
think it's beer.
Like, try to sell the solution.
Sell fear. Yeah, so we do sell fear a little bit, but try to. I think you got it.
No, I just repeated what Sonia said.
What was this again?
And the solution?
Yeah,
The solution?
we're trying to sell the solution to the problem, not the product. Okay, so we got to understand what the problem is, even for customer service. And sometimes with customer service, a little bit clear. Hey, this is what's going on. Okay, let me help you with that. I think in sales we don't do that enough. What's your problem? You know, really want to find out. Hey, maybe the last company didn't call their cancellation processes or pending cancellations, and they let it cancel and no one called, right? Or maybe they had a bad claim experience. Or maybe they called at 7, they weren't open. So you really want to find out what the problem was, and the best way to find out is really what their experience was with the previous insurance company. And then whatever it is, then you say the benefit of that, and even at the end of the conversation, hey, and then plus this way you're going to have blah, blah, blah. That's what you wanted, right? You don't say it like that, but you remember what they wanted and use that, not just in the beginning, but at the end too, to close them. What type of, speaking of closes, what type of closes do you guys like?
What's the close? Or closes?
Yeah, closes. Not
So you want to pay like closing a sale.
yeah. Not like not like polo shirts and. So what was it? Yours, Blanca?
Like asking for their card, like how do they want to pay?
That's a good one.
Yeah, like do you want to pay with your credit card, debit card, or check by phone?
Yeah, that's a good one. It's kind of like assuming it.
It's just like, do you want to get your policy started?
You want to get your
Do you
policy?
want to get issued today?
Okay, that's a good one. What's yours, Jess?
Kind of like the same. That means
Okay.
depending on the customer.
Sometimes that's a good one. Another, these are just all random ones. But so would you like the policy effective today?
Yeah.
I've said that before.
Or when they renew or renewal, like, did you want the policy today or the renewal time?
Right.
Or you want it on EFT or
Mhm.
direct bill.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Those are kind of closes. You know, these are kind of like mini closes. You know, so you kind of want to assume and get the direction
I
that
feel
way.
like every customer is different.
Right.
Sometimes I'm like, okay, yeah. Do you want to get it started today? Like, oh yeah, like. Or sometimes it's just every client's different.
I think it's just the way that your conversation's going.
Right.
with the person.
Yeah. So you never use the same close over and over again. You got, and the timing is so important too.
Sometimes they even say, okay, let's do it.
When they're rushing me, I'm like, okay, what's your card? And I said what Blanca says when they're like rushing me, like, okay, I'm like, okay, what's your email? And then I'll be like, do you want, what kind? Do you want to pay with Visa or MasterCard? I'll be like, whatever.
And a lot of times at that point, again, to lose the momentum, I'd rather just put it on screen or just write it down, the payment information, because you don't want to like, okay, hold on.
No,
Like if they're ready to give it to you, just take it. Just write it down, or you don't want to go, oh, let me get to the screen and hold on. Okay, hold on. I'm just like, I'm ready.
It's all loading.
yeah. And then asking for the close, the timing is so important because sometimes I'm not sure if you guys notice it or not. Sometimes you feel like you lost out on the close because you didn't ask for it at the right time. We didn't ask. You guys ever get that?
Yeah, I felt it.
Yeah, I felt that one. Like I should have asked like 1 second earlier before he said something else. And sometimes you overtalk someone into not ask. You talk too much and not closing them. That you lose someone like that too.
Make you explain everything and then it's all silent.
Yeah. Yeah, and sometimes use silence to your advantage too. Okay, when you ask for the close, don't say anything else afterwards. Have you guys used that?
No.
Because when you ask for it, you want to go ahead and get it. What did you want to get it started? Just wait to see what they say, and then because they're actually thinking. But sometimes people will interrupt themselves when they're thinking, and sometimes the awkwardness will be like, "Okay, yeah, let's get it started." They'll feel awkward and be like, "Okay, shoot. Okay, let's get
You're waiting
started."
on me.
Yeah, it's like,
I
okay,
feel like that doesn't work.
let's get started. Try it. Just be a little bit more patient, okay? When you ask for a sell, ask for the close, and then see what they say. And then if they give you an objection, that's really what they're feeling. So you at least know what they're actually thinking. Oh, sorry, Marissa, we skipped you. Yeah. What do you got for us?
It's okay, you can skip me. I'm trying to find one that no one has said.
Okay. You can do the same thing, just whatever you liked.
It's not the long one.
Because initially I had picked the one that Blanca picked.
Oh, really?
Let me look for
I
it.
always feel like what I say sometimes I feel like you're gonna say it. I'm gonna say something like this and then I'll skip to a different one.
Oh, well, that's pretty thoughtful of you.
She always uses like the complex ones. I'm like, okay, she can describe that better.
Oh, yeah.
She always goes for those.
So this is like, how do I explain this?
No, I'm not.
You want to get back to you, Marisol?
Yeah, because there was one that I wanted, but
Okay.
I can't find it now.
You can look for it.
I did too much stuff.
You can look for it. Okay. Sylvia? She's like reading the book right now.
No, I didn't highlight stuff.
All right, Sylvia.
Mine's on page 187 is above what Alice said.
Okay.
When determining wants and needs, you are not selling, you are asking and listening. Because this is done in the early stages of the sales process, understand that you will be using this information to make sense of the up and close on your proposal. I like this little paragraph because even though I've sold before, I'm still learning how to sell insurance, and like I'll listen to all you guys, how you guys do it. So I like this section right here because I feel like if you really understand what the client wants and what they explain to you already, you can use that as a close and you know really early in the sales process. But if you really grab a hold of what they really want, I feel like it puts you in the best position to really go in for the close at the end. So you mentioned you needed this and that, correct? Okay, perfect. I kind of go from there.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. I think the biggest part of this line is about just listening more, asking and listening, than just selling, which is just like talking.
Yeah.
So some people think sales is just about, I want to just talk them into it. You kind of like actually listen into a sale. Yeah. So what type of questions are you going to start asking, Sylvia?
Well, in the beginning, I'm just going to ask, do you currently have insurance? If so, where? How's your experience? Did you like them? Did you not? What is the reason why you are searching for insurance today? Those are the only questions that come to my mind right now. I'm pretty sure maybe later I'll probably have a little bit more.
Those are good. Those are enough. Usually just need a few.
Ask them like 10
Uh-huh.
questions.
Yeah. And then and then Kalia's point, while you're asking those questions, you're going to find out a lot about them. This person is a person that values time. They don't want to chit chat that much. But this person really wants to tell you your whole life story, and that's okay. Okay. I think Martha is really good at getting people to open up and just really takes their time. That's if they want to, though. Okay. Because sometimes I feel like we want to go faster than they do. So that's when we're a little too fast. So we want to go with what they want. Okay. So yeah, good point. So more listening. All right, Yi-chan, what you have for us?
Mine's page 189
Okay.
at the middle. In your presentation, focus on those things that are most important to the buyers. During your demonstration process to laser focus what will make your product a must-have now. That's what I like that part. Because most of the time, like Japanese clients, they don't have like insurance yet, and like I feel like they kind of like want the insurance right away. So they always ask like, "Oh, when can I get the proof of insurance?" But if I say like, "Oh, I can just email to you," they're like, "Okay, that's cool." So it's like more like and also they ask for like what kind of coverage, and like they want like more detail. So the price is not that important like with like other clients. So if I kind of like explain like what they ask for more, they usually kind of tend to buy it. So
yeah, so that's why it's also really important to know what your individual client wants. Right. So for some people, getting the insurance card in the mail is not a big deal. That's fine, just send it. And some people, it's like, I need it right now. So you want to know what type of client you're talking to. Okay. Oh, some people have a really hard time believing, you're real, right? So they need to look at your pictures, or and that's okay. And some people are just more trustworthy than in general. So just knowing what the client wants, and I think there are a lot of similarities between cultures, but even within cultures, there's different type of peoples too. So you kind of want to like figure out, hey, what type of person is this? Because if you say, hey, I want to email it over to you, I'm going to take the payment and I'm going to email it over to you, and I'll stay on the line until you get it. Some people will be like, okay, that got me. You never know what's going to get them. That's why there's so many different type of closes. You got to understand this, and then I think one of the things that really help when you have experience is that you guys know, the ones that are experienced, what this type of person wants, because you remember this person is like that person, whereas this person is like that person. You're going to be able to adapt. Okay. All right, Marisol, did you find something you like?
Yeah.
Okay.
Firstly, it's on page 191.
Okay.
It's like the first paragraph. First, you must be prepared to close. Closing the transaction is completely different from the art from selling. We were all born to sell, but you have to learn how to close. By survey, this is the one area in which professional salespeople demand help. This is where you must become a pro ninja master closer of all situations. A greater close needs hundreds of closes, not just a few. The pro needs a complete commitment to fresh innovation ways to handle any closing situation that arises. So I like this because I'm not in sales, but I mean, I work here, so I kind of like have an idea of how they work. But I think this is good to know for someone who hasn't done sales before or wants to get into sales, because I really, like if I was to come in and get like a sales job, I wouldn't know like that's the most important thing to learn about sales. And it kind of is, I think.
It really is.
Yeah.
And I think this line is also good because to become a pro ninja master closer of all situations, you just have to be committed, and you have to learn how to close, right? Yeah. It's kind of like the same thing as like a baseball player. Like I bet anyone who started playing baseball, it was when you first start, were you good at it? No, right? You just can't be like good at hitting a ball that's coming at you really fast at different speeds in different places. Like you can't hit it like good like the first day you tried. So it's like any sport. You're just not good at it the first day. The first day you skateboard, you probably weren't good, So sales is the same thing. To close, it takes practice and it takes a lot of commitment. So I think that understanding is what gives it the respect it deserves. When you think, oh, this is easy, because sometimes people make it look easy, Like Laura and Jazz, they kind of make it look easy. It's like, oh, it's easy, I could do that. They're just talking on the phone, But then that's where people don't go through the practice because they under-respect the training is necessary to be good. They think, oh, I don't have to practice. I don't have to learn. I could just do this. But the ones that are good is the ones that go through the experience and study it and kind of like self-evaluate themselves. Why didn't I get that sale? And really have that sense of urgency, And that's how they get better. All right, Maria, what you have for us?
Mine's on page 185.
Okay.
It's literally the first sentence of step 23.
Okay.
It says the goal of your aim is to introduce yourself, make a good impression, and put the buyer at ease. I like that one because it's true for us, especially since most of our clients are over the phone. Like a lot of the time they're really uneasy, like thinking it's fraud or it's not true. So just putting their mind at ease and letting them know that we are going to provide them with insurance. We're not just taking their money. So just kind of doing something that allows them to know that we are taking care of them.
Okay, I'm glad you talked about this one, Mary, because no one really talked about this step here. So what are some good ways to do that, you think?
Just letting them know that we have like a Yelp page, or like sending them the email with their picture. They like to be like the website, or just somewhere where they could view our information.
Mm-hmm. People love seeing other people's reviews. I don't think we use that enough. You know, but this particular situation is a greet. So this is when you first pick up the call, and he's like, "Oh, this is a cool situation." What are some things that I have something in my mind? It might be hard for you guys to guess what it is, but let's look at the examples here. There's 3 examples, right? What are those 3 examples? What do they all have in common?
Greeting them.
Mm-hmm.
Just doing a simple greet.
But these are all
Thanking them?
Thanking them.
Thanking them?
thinking.
Thanking.
Thanking them, yeah. That's absolutely right. So when you greet them, like you want to put them at ease, right? And when people are a little like kind of like not sure, professionalism really goes a long ways. Okay, and then when you thank somebody, that automatically puts somebody at ease. When you have somebody mad at you, just thank them. They're not gonna they're gonna calm down.
Or like, thank you for being patient.
Right. So what I would say, I do all the time. I don't know if you guys do, but if you guys don't, you guys should say it. Hey, thank you for asking for a quote. Thank you for calling me. I mean, you already said it when you first answered the phone call. That's why we thank them when they call us. But like, oh, great, thanks for giving us a try. Thanks for considering farmers.
Even when like we don't sell it, sometimes we're like, thank you for
Thank you for your time.
Right.
for your patience, because sometimes we, the system's down.
Right. So thanking the hell out of them. In the beginning, during, afterwards, all the time. Okay. That puts people at ease, makes them feel like, appreciated. So I think in the greeting, though, thank them twice. Now, you thank them when you say, hey, thanks for calling farmers. Hey, I want to get a quote. Oh, great, thanks for giving me a try. What's your current situation right now? Okay, puts them at ease. They get to talk a little bit. You're showing that they're listening to them. You say something back regarding what they said. Puts them at ease. They're like, oh, okay, this person is actually listening to me, and it's a much better conversation than, okay, what's your name? What's your address? What's your date of birth? It's like no ice breaking. What's another way to break the ice? I think
Mary? I'm just like, I don't know. Just talking about.
Talking about
when
stuff.
they're adding like I feel that when they're adding a teenager,
Mm-hmm.
you kind of like break the ice a little there. It depends on the conversation.
Mm-hmm. You want to find it though.
Something to talk about.
Yeah, you just don't want to make it so boring. If it's boring, I think that's what Jazz does a great job of. It's like she's almost like entertaining them as she could give them a quote.
I'm a clown.
No, I'm not saying that. But you're not like entertaining it that way. You're entertaining it by like being like, just energetic or just getting people to laugh is such a big deal. Okay, so either complimenting them, great. Thank you, Laura. That's a good one.
Like I did our home quote today, and I was like, oh, the one I showed you. I was like, oh, by the way, really nice house. And he's like, oh, thanks. And he started laughing. I said, oh, yeah, it's really nice house. Yeah.
That's a connection right there. And then just him saying that, he's more at ease than just someone that's just straight cold, just asking him questions like what type of roof you have. It's like just much more of just a pleasant situation for them to be in. And humor. I would say humor is a difficult one, but some people that's something that you want to work on because I do really see that people who are funnier, they do better in sales.
Jazz is funny.
Jazz is funny.
I laugh.
That's true.
Stuff she says.
That's true. Okay, so try not to be so dry, try not to be so boring, because insurance is kind of boring as it is. If you could say a comment about how nice their city is, or about their car, or about their kid, or just like the weather, or just anything that you could just throw in there without it making it awkward, something smooth, and something that can make them a little chuckle or make them like you a little bit, it just goes a long ways. Okay.
I think the weather is like a good one.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people that are like, oh, how's the weather up there? Is it hot right now?
I ask
Like,
that
is
all
it
the time.
cold? You know?
You know what? Because that's something that everyone has in common.
Yeah.
Like everybody deals with weather.
That's like an easy one.
How about finding something in common? Do you guys use that one?
Like if they have the same birthday as me, I'm like, oh, we're the same birthday.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. That.
So I'm like, I'm 89. And he's like, oh yeah, like
Right. Yeah.
I think look for just anything to like have a conversation.
Exactly.
If you can like make up one, you know, like
Mm-hmm.
just to it goes with the quote smoother,
Mm-hmm.
funner for both of you because you know even for yourself,
Mm-hmm.
it makes the call interesting, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and just have genuine interest in some people sometimes
It's a
too.
different tone of voice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so finding something in common, and just complimenting them, being funny. So those are really good tips. So hopefully, I think the best thing about these meetings is that getting to learn from proven sales experts here. So you guys have any questions?
No, we don't.
Any question for? Okay, but yeah, you guys are really blessed. So really listen into how the top closers are doing. I think Jazz, you can really hear. You guys can't really hear Laura that much, huh?
I can.
Can you? Oh, okay, that's good. Huh? You can? Okay. You already heard Jazz.
I don't really hear Kalia. Sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes me too.
Yeah. I can hear
Or
Blanca
sometimes he wants to do
sometimes.
it lower.
The seductive voice.
I can hear Blanca.
I could never hear Martha. Never.
I never hear Martha.
Yeah.
Never hear Martha.
Yeah.
No, but like.
But
No.
she's so
I could hear
calming.
everybody.
Yeah.
But
She's so
I can
calming,
never
like
hear
I
Mhm.
can hear her, but I'm just looking at her like, how is she already selling it? Like she's just like
Yeah, I
like she
to
acts like she's like she talks to them like she's known them their whole life. Like she's not tense. She never sits up like
Mhm.
most people. She's like
She's like, are you like awake over there? And she's actually selling it.
yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, everybody has different paces. So I think the most important thing is just being adaptable. Because I do feel like sometimes when she's rushed, then she can't. You know what I mean? So being able to work both sides is great. But I'll tell you guys, the people that have more to lose, right, Laura? They're the ones that want to talk to you more. If they own a home, if they have kids that drive and stuff like that, they kind of want to talk to you a little bit more. It's not that simple of a transaction.
And they even ask, like, do you suggest that I get this?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So it's much more deeper of a conversation than just someone who wants liability only. That's 24 years old. A lot more than that. Okay. So those are the ones that are going to help your revenue, your income, your commission more. So those are the ones that you want to be able to adjust to and be able to sell to too. All right. All right. So thank you, girls. Yeah. Good chapter. Hey, thank you so much for watching my videos. If you haven't done so already, please make sure to subscribe. And then stay tuned for more future videos to help you grow your insurance agency. And also comment below and let me know what you think. Until next time, thank you.